Previously on our story, a new and terrifyingly powerful ghoul appeared just as Lloyd and his waifus were out on hunting. This wasn't your average creature, as it had a unique ability to extend mana threads that could instantly paralyze its enemies. These threads looked eerily like a spine, and Rin quickly recognized them, that it was the same nerve-blighted Shesha had heard rumors about. Apparently, this ghoul was once a weapon used in a civil war before it died, or so they thought. What no one knew is that after its death, its body was secretly taken by a pastor, and he offered this body to a ghost to possess. He's a corrupt man hiding in the church, and Babylon, already sensing something was off, chose to stay close and keep an eye on him. It didn't take long for the pastor to reveal his true colors as he attacked Father and Escher, and Babylon stepped in to protect them. In the scuffle, Babylon took a fatal stab to the heart. So the pastor believed it was over, but Babylon made a shocking comeback as his body was so unbelievably flexible that he could literally twist his internal organs to dodge fatal blows, with sheer will and physical mastery. He struck back using his muscles, blow, and holy magic again. But it wasn't enough. No matter what Babylon did, he couldn't even put a scratch the guy. It felt like watching Batman fight Superman without kryptonite. Then the evil pastor unleashed a holy technique and turned Babylon into a living pincushion. Meanwhile at the guild, Escher arrived carrying unconscious Father. She looked like she was holding it together, but inside she was falling apart. The other adventurers were ready to help, but Babylon had warned her not to call anyone, so she pretended Father had simply collapsed and goes away saying she got some work to do. But the fear kept gnawing at her. Deep down she knew if she had asked for help they would have died too. Her helplessness made her even angrier with herself that all she could do was sing, and through tears she begged the gods for help. And just when all hope seemed lost, a light appeared. Instinctively she cried out and asked Lloyd for help, so when he heard Babylon was in danger, he vanished on the spot and arrived at the church instantly. But it was too late. Babylon was hovering at death's door. There he encountered an old friend in a vision. That friend reminded him he wasn't done living yet, and guided him back to the world of the living. Escher's voice had reached him, healing him as she sang non-stop to save Babylon. Then as he woke up she collapsed from exhaustion, after all she had sung for 3 days straight to keep him alive. So while Babylon was unconscious, Lloyd had sent Tao to guard the church. Then he informed the guild and Prince Albert, and relocated Escher and Father to Lordest, and the other sisters were sent to the royal castle for protection. Honestly, Babylon got lucky. If he hadn't woken up today, Lloyd was seriously planning to run experiments on him just to wake him. Clearly Lloyd was disappointed. But Lloyd and Jiriel had used healing magic to stabilize him, but without Escher's voice, Babylon would have died. She had saved him as she had asked for help at the right time. And when Babylon woke up, he explained everything about the pastor. Jiriel couldn't believe it. How could someone granted holy magic commit such atrocities? But it was true. Even after being hit with holy spells, the pastor didn't flinch, so Lloyd explained that because holy magic only affects the guilty, and this man had never once believed he was doing wrong. With that, Lloyd launched an investigation, and Babylon said he had first spotted the pastor in the rose garden and noticed strange activity there. In fact, Father had also been attacked in that same garden, so clearly something was being hidden there. So Lloyd and the others returned to the garden. There those two bros had cleaned up the leftover mess from the battle, and Tao kept watch. Soon Katrina arrived to inform them about the report the guild had sent to the church on the pastor. She lost it because the Pope and Cardinals, upon hearing their report, doubted everything. They assumed Babylon, a former criminal, was trying to slander the church. That's why they refused to believe one of their own could be evil, and demanded solid proof. Katrina was furious because the guild couldn't act, at least not without undeniable evidence. But Lloyd wasn't going to let it go. Whatever the pastor was hiding, it had to be buried in this garden, so they wanted to dig it all up, but Father refused because his pets were buried here, and that's why he wouldn't allow it. Meanwhile, Shiro was sitting quietly looking more confused than usual. This caught Babylon's attention as it reminded him of how Shiro had acted when he first arrived here. And with Father's refusal, Crow called in some of his bird companions to scout the area. Crows have sharp eyes after all, and soon, Rin, Silpha, and Saria arrived too. Saria was relieved to see Escher alive, but quickly scolded her for making her worry. Then, with a bit of a diva move, she asked Escher if she'd still be performing in the recital with her. Escher wasn't sure, but first Saria thanked Babylon for saving Escher, and he mentioned the girl might be targeted again, which would make performing dangerous. Still, Saria seemed more concerned about her music than safety, and decided to perform solo if needed. That's when the crows found something, a hidden door in the garden. Silpha forced it open and a foul air rushed out of it, instantly souring the mood of everyone. The door was made of a special material that blocked chi and mana, which explains why it had never been found before. As the group prepared to descend, Crow told Escher to stay behind because what lay below could be horrifying. Escher was already traumatized by the pastor, yet she gathered her courage and decided to follow them to face her fear. Despite shaking, she stepped into the darkness, and even Shiro, scared and trembling, was urged on by Jiriel and Grim, who told him to pick his poison. Shiro got inspired by Escher's bravery, so he chose to follow too. And what awaited them beneath the garden was the horrifying remnants of the human experiments conducted by that so-called pastor. And right there, our episode 5 ends for today, so stay tuned to watch another episodes as well, and for that, subscribe the channel and don't forget to hit the bell icon or you'll miss the latest updates. Till next time guys, take care.